Okay, well, good to see you. We're going to talk today about our second day on the Great Loop. On this day, we moved from the free dock at the Chesapeake City Marina in Chesapeake City, Delaware,
right.
to up to Cape May.
Well, down to Cape May.
Oh,
yeah,
down
to Cape May. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
basically
down to
we
Cape May.
finished the rest of the C&D canal, and it started off with, our checklist of getting out of the marina and basically just going across to the northern side of the river to get fuel at Schaefer's Fuel Dock, which was our first, fueling experiment.
It was horrifying.
320 gallons we put in the boat into the main tanks. We have 4 tanks, and so the port and starboard main tanks were filled up, so to speak.
That's a lot of gas.
That's a lot of gas.
Diesel,
yeah.
I guess.
Anyway, we got out of there a little lighter in the pocketbook, but we had a great cruise down the rest of the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal. There was a little bit of debris floating, but not too bad.
Right.
And then as we got out of there, we took a right-hand turn and went south along the Delaware Bay.
Yeah, when we got out to the bay, the boats we passed in the canal were there were a few barges, but when we got out into the bay, huge ships. And in fact, when we passed one of them, I had gone downstairs into the salon, and the next thing I know, I hear this crashing and everything. Well, we caught one of their wakes and lost a couple of champagne glasses in the process. But we do buy champagne glasses at the Dollar Tree, so it was only $2 we lost. I'm okay with that.
Anyway, the large barges in the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal don't go as fast as they do in the Delaware Bay. And as we were looking at one of the large barges coming alongside of us, we were well clear of it. Very well clear, about a quarter of a mile away.
The one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the wake on that one, it didn't look like it had a big wake, but all of a sudden, here comes this big old wave. It wasn't white capping or anything, but we learned to give that a little bit more room, and it was exciting.
Right, and then we went a little further. Well, I guess it was almost to the Cape May, what do you call that, inlet, where you go through?
Right.
Or canal.
Cape May Canal.
Okay.
We came in from the western side of the Cape May Peninsula, and we had to go down a little bit further because we spotted some oyster beds. So we went around the oyster beds.
Right.
We didn't know if they were tied together. We saw them floating there, so rather than get tangled in the prop.
I thought and I even had the binoculars, that's how much I can't see. I thought they were birds, and there was like one bird over here, another bird over there, another one, and then as we got closer, of course, we figured out they were oyster pots. I think Cousin Russ told us it was like oyster farm marked on the map he was looking at. So we were headed for it, and Sam just made a quick little
went south a little bit further, and then
went
north,
around them,
and then came in through the Cape May Canal into Utsch. One thing that I used, I learned about, was the Tidal Currents and Trip Planner, which is an app, and that worked out pretty good because it takes into consideration. It costs $2.99. $2.99 for an app, which is not that bad, but it basically says, hey, where you want to go from to, and it tells you the optimal time to leave and to take advantage of the tides and the currents. So that's a great tool. But just like everything else, you have to cross-check it. So we came in there. So we came into the canal.
Yep.
And then you want to tell them about the approach to Utsch. How many times did you call Utsch?
Okay, this is when we knew we need a checklist of what to ask what information to get from a marina. And we're going to work on a blog post for that, because I kid you not, I probably called Nancy at Utsch 10 times. I don't think that's an exaggeration, do you?
Yeah, you might have.
10 times.
But anyway, each time I was busy navigating and piloting the boat, and I would say to Rev, hey, did you ask her about this? And she'd say no. So anyway, to make a long story short,
things like this. Things like, is the dock a floating dock or a fixed dock? Which side are you coming in on? Because if it's on the starboard side, which is the right side, you got to put the lines and the fenders, get that stuff ready. If it's on the port side, of course, you got to get all that ready. And we have 4 lines and 2 fenders.
And then, of course, is it bow in or is it stern in?
Oh, yeah, another
floating
question.
Docks. So basically, we figured all this stuff out. One of the things that we didn't figure out was the approach to the dock.
Yes.
And we had to back out because we got low water. We didn't get grounded, but we got low water, backed out.
And the mud was churning up everywhere. No, I was screaming. It was terrible.
We got on the radio and they told us the right way to come in,
Yeah.
which in retrospect was written somewhere, but we didn't catch it.
Yeah, you have to hug the wall. What did they call it?
The bulkhead.
The bulkhead, okay.
25 feet off of the bulkhead to come in, and then it's a sharp right turn into Utsch's Marina. It's a very tight marina.
It's real tight.
Luckily, the wind was only about 10 knots, but for this boat, it can be a challenge. But we got in there. The dock hands helped us.
Oh, Wayne was fantastic. Yeah, he tied us up and helped us with everything.
Got power on,
made it
and
really
then
easy.
made it up to the marina, and we got a goodie bag. Want to tell them what's in a goodie bag?
I do. They gave us a bottle of blueberry wine with the Utsch's Marina label on it, and some biscotti, and some soap, and these little airtight container pouches.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
So it was really nice surprise.
And the other thing is, when we got there, we found 4 other looper boats.
Yeah, that was a
and
great
I think
surprise.
maybe a 5th one by the time the night was over. Yeah. So we ended up making some new friends. One of them is still with us today. They're basically docked around here somewhere.
Yep. Anchored out there.
Yeah.
So that was day 2. And I thought a very successful day, all in all.
Yeah.
All right.
Day 2 was great.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye.
All right, bye.